to the filling station for the drivers Q&A. So we need some drivers to do some drivers Q&A. So please welcome onto the stage, two-time BTCC champion, looking to make it through this year. Willie, you might do. Jason Plato.
Isn't he a good lad? Huh?
And he had an extraordinary debut last season. He's looking to go maybe even better this year. Number 88, Sam Tordoff. So I think, well, it's not really gone much better today, really, could it, so far? I mean, 1-2, 1-2. Could have got a 1-2 qualifying, but oh well.
Let's put it this way about that. I did my end, but I tell you what, we've just learned something today, and I didn't realise this. And that is, since the regulations went to these cars we're in now, so 2 years, we're the only team that's had a 1-2. That's amazing, isn't it? Because I would have sworn blind that Honda did, but we've now had, is it 8 1-2s or 7? Yeah, no one else had a 1-2. No other teams had a 1-2. And last year. And the year before. That's what we're telling you. I am having a few senior moments today, that's been a good start to the year. A good start to, great start here. Donington, pole, and, 2 1-2s. Like you said, it couldn't have got much better.
So Sam, were you a bit annoyed that you didn't get a 1-2, but third, I mean, it's really good actually.
Yeah, I let the team down in Friday qualifying. I wanted to do a good solid banker lap and get a reasonable time and then build from there with the second set of tyres. And unfortunately, the track seemed to slow up as the qualifying went on yesterday. So nobody improved on the second set of tyres, which was quite slightly annoying. But I mean, we knew we had good race pace today, and there was, starting P3 was probably better than P2 anyway, because it was maybe I was on the inside this morning. And we got a good start and we had a good day so far. I beat Jason for in race 2, and I think ultimately that was the difference between finishing first and second. The cars were very close, very evenly matched, and it was just a case of being consistent, not making any mistakes.
So race 1, it was chucking it down earlier on when the GTs went out. Then it sort of stopped. So it was a bit of a wet, dry sort of problem, really, wasn't it?
It's been a messy day, and one that's really difficult because we need a bit of time actually to when we can make the decision. We need probably a good 45 minutes before the start of the race to call it wet or dry. And luckily we called that one wet. But had it been dry, it would have been a bit more difficult. But yeah, I think the weather's holding up now. Come race 3, if it is dry, I don't consider that a big problem. We were quick yesterday in the dry, quick obviously this morning in the wet. So wet or dry, I think we're looking pretty strong.
Now, where I was up in the media room, it looked at...
Hark at you in the media room! Look at that! Go on.
It was looking pretty dry on the track. Looked like it was going to be slicks anyway, so...
What, for race 1? Yeah, I mean, BBC got it wrong this morning, didn't they? Because they said it wasn't going to rain until about 6 o'clock tonight. And based on our wet weather predictions last year, we decided we should ignore the team manager because he doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to predicting weather. We should ignore me because I made a mistake last year and thank the team manager. But it's tricky because the cars do change a bit between the dry setup and the wet setup. I was surprised because it did look relatively dry actually at the beginning of race 1, that nobody went on slick tyres, everybody elected to go onto the wets. And race 2 was quite a bit wetter than it was for we're talking a lot about the weather, aren't we? But the main thing is, last year we couldn't get our car working in the wet, and towards the end of the year we sussed it. And that's given everybody within the team a real confidence because, whatever weather we get confronted with during the day, it doesn't faze us. Whereas last year it was a 2-hour job to change the car from wet to dry and vice versa. So you know, something happened at the last minute, like it did today, you know, we wouldn't be able to get a fixing toll or we'd be able to change the setup. Now we've got a setup on the car which works both in wet and dry with just a small few changes. So we're in great shape, you know. I think our performance at Brands Hatch race 3 proved we've got real pace on the soft tyre, which the next race in the dry we will run the soft tyre, which I think most people, I think the only one of any note who's running a hard tyre or medium tyre is Fabrizio Giovanni, the bloke with the big forehead. I don't know if you've no notes, but he reminds me of the T-Fan man. I can say that because he's a good friend, but yeah, he's gone on a medium tyre, so that could be interesting. But yeah, I think they will set, provided. Actually, do you know what's been drawn and the hat? 6. That's not bad, is it? So yeah, I quite fancy we might be winning again.
So did they. Were you happy with how the car performed in race 1?
Yeah, very happy. You know, we had, you know, the balance on both of our cars was almost perfect. You know, we could make the car do whatever we wanted to do. And when you get into that situation, then you can look after your tyres. You can stress the front tyres less, which then means towards the end of the race, you've got a better package. But the balance in race 2 was nearly as good, but of course I gained 45 kilos, or Sam was 36. That makes a difference. And also the city was a bit better. So yeah, you know, the guys at the team are doing a great job. Cars are great, very well.
You read my mind. So Sam, were you also happy with how your car performed in race 1?
Yeah, I was very, very much so. The car, I think, for the first time, we're seeing all the improvements we made over the winter. We made a lot of improvements. We've done a lot of work, a lot of homework on the car. And Brands Hatch Indy, you don't really get to see. You know, it's not a product race. It's too small. I don't like it. Mr. Palmer's not here, is he? I like pushing the tracks. Brands Hatch Indy, you know, we're not able to show off what the changes and the improvements we made over the winter. And we come here, you know, a more fast-flowing circuit, and then you really start to see where we are. And just showing them qualifying, Jason 6/10 underneath last year's qualifying. So, and a lot of that is in the car, you know. So I'm very happy. We're making progress all the time. I'm improving. I thought Brands Hatch did it wrong. We've come back this weekend and really set it on again, and first and second.
So also while we're on you, race 2, you overtook Jason on the run down into the first corner, and you held the first to win. That was a good way to actually celebrate your birthday, because if some of you don't know, Sam's turned 25 yesterday.
Thank you. No, exactly. Great result. Obviously, you know, it was tough keeping Jason going. And especially, you know, the safety cars were a bit farcical at the time. I think they did probably 9 laps around the safety car. But when you're in conditions like that, where the track's greasy, the grip level's changing lap by lap, it's very difficult to go straight away at the restart, and you basically have to guess your braking point for the first corner because you have no idea where the grip's going to be. In conditions like that, you need 2 or 3 laps to find the grip, learn where to push and where to not push. So it was difficult to go off the start. You know, if there's one person in front of you, they're off the gauge. And unfortunately, I was a guinea pig, and Jason was able to, pick his braking points where I was doing mine. So it was difficult. It kept me very honest. I would have preferred a bit more of a gap. But you know, we managed to withstand the pressure and get the win.
Were you actually happy, because it looked like you were settling behind actually, Sam? You were settling for second. Were you, or were you happy with second?
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, I actually got a very good start initially off the line, but then had a senior moment. And we've got various buttons on the steering wheel, and off the line we have a start strategy button, and that restricts a bit of torque and also the revs on the engine. Once the thing's on, you know, once we've got the initial launch and when we're on the move, then you take the finger off the button and you get about another 80 horsepower, say. But just underneath that button is the pit lane entry button, which is the speed limiter. And for some reason, I've never done it before, I decided it might be a nice idea to hit that. And then, you know, my car stopped and now gave Sam a chance to get past me on the left. So it's a bit of a slightly annoying that I've made that mistake, but you know, I am nearly double his age. And your brain starts to fade when you get a bit older. I thought I'd do a bit of self-deprecation before you lot do anyway. But no, I wasn't set second for second. You know, I tried to keep the pressure on, but at this point in the year, you know, we're very mindful of the fact that 1-2s are very important, and it wasn't worth rattling down the inside of him, you know, putting both of us at risk. You know, if it was the end of the year, obviously it'd be a different story.
Now, what's this about the club card fuel save thingy you've got on your top?
He's good, isn't he? Isn't he good? Well, I think most people know it's this fantastic initiative which Tesco have come up with, where you go and buy your groceries at Tesco rather than somewhere else, and you build up some points. Every 50 quid you spend over the month, you get 2 pence per litre off. And by my reckoning, that means you get 20 pence off a litre. And yesterday, in fact I needed it because I borrowed a Ferrari for the weekend, and it 140 quid filling it up. But that meant I saved 20 quid. So it's pretty good. So yeah, it's a fantastic initiative to try and bring down the cost of fuel for everybody. You know, fuel is an expensive thing. It's a distressing type purchase. None of us enjoy buying it. I enjoy the race team buying our race fuel. That's a different sort of stuff. And it's a great thing because it means more we spend, more we save. How good was that? Mr. Tesco is in the room actually, so have I done the right thing? Didn't I say it right? Yeah, so they're our title sponsors this year. We're very excited to have them on board, and yeah, I think our cars will race.
Now, most of you have all come with questions in mind to ask either Sam or Jason, or even both. So I'm going to let you ask them now. Who has a question?
Time to go over there.
Jason, team orders. Team orders? Have you got team orders?
No team orders with the team. There never have been, really. You know, at the very end of last year, there was, you know, a more of a directive to take each other off. But no, there's no team orders. We're racing hard. And the only order is don't hit each other, and that applies outside the car as well. or in the bar. But obviously, if your teammate doesn't get his hand in his pocket by a rank, then all bets are off.
Anybody else?
To be honest, someone else mentioned that to me after race 1, you mean? If I'm really honest, I didn't. And the reason I didn't think about it is, A, I wasn't asked to, but more to the point, I was really concerned about, you know, the track was drying out at that point. So I was trying to win, or trying to stay ahead of Sam by going as slow as possible. But of course that gives him the chance then to try and look for a way past. So I was pretty busy calculating in my own mind how best to do that, to try and slow the pace down, but not give Sam an opportunity to have one over on me. So ordinarily, yes, we might have done that, but you know, the call didn't come on the radio. Had it done, I would have done, but no, not today, I'm afraid.
As you may have noticed, we've got someone joining us. We've got a very promising KX Academy driver.
What's that say on there? Third, that's not bad. Round of applause for David Pittard.
So our Jason just said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome David Pittard.
Do you want the mic?
Well, thank you for having me. Lucky I'm fit, I could run over here just quickly scout the skip the aim. And yeah, lucky to see you in third place in that last race. We did start on pole, but it was a very late call to change from wet to 6. And we were last out pit lane, so it's basically from last to third. So I think we're very pleased with that. We've good points for the championship, and yeah, up to I think we're 5th now from no testing at the start of the year. I think which we did when we come on strong towards the end of the year. We'll have nice 20 points to go with that. So. Yeah, fantastic, and none of it would be possible without the help of Susan Morgan at KX Academy, so I can't be thankful enough to KX for this amazing opportunity.
Now, you two have both actually won a race But you win overtaken the weekend. Race one car on your left, one car in front of you, and you went straight down the middle going into the chicane.
Yeah, it was the very first race this morning. Pretty wet out there, and everyone was backing up behind Harry Woodhead, who was defending hard into the chicane. He was backing me up, braking early on the inside, and I had Jane Norton behind me going to the outside. And I kind of just flipped out to the middle. It was a bit of an accident, but I ended up running, just getting the car stopped for the right and getting past Woodhead and making the break from the bottleneck. So it seemed to go down well with a few fans out there. So yeah, if you saw it, I hope you had saw it because I had my eyes shut on the way. So yeah, it was good to get there.
So now, do we have any questions for Jason, Sam, or even David? Yeah, what gives you a passion?
Yeah, what do you like? Do you know, I love it. I'm a very lucky lad. I started karting at a very early age with the support of my mum and dad, and lots of financial support, lots of sacrifices as a fat family, because motor racing is not a cheap game, even at karting that level. And it just gets me up in the morning. Like I said, I'm lucky to be able to do it. It's my career, it's how I pay my bills. But I think racing in the British Touring Car Championship is one of the things which gets you up in the morning every single year, because the racing's so ace. There's not many series around the world where the racing is as competitive, it's as aggressive. We all would want cars that are a bit faster, but actually it's the racing. You make a mistake out there when everybody's on top and you can lose 4 or 5 places. It's great. So yeah, that's what it is. It's the racing. Formula 1 did interest me. I tried to get there, but just didn't have a bag of gold. My dad's not Russian. or a Saudi Arabian sheikh. Had he been, I would have been there. But my dreams of Formula 1 stopped when my single-seater career, when I got to Formula 3, and the team I was with in 1992 realised that I actually didn't have the money I said I did. I got booted out. And it's just such a lot of money now. You need, to give you an idea, Max Chilton's dad is paying £25 million a year for him to be there. And he's running around in the back, so just imagine what it must be if you want a good seat. It's a tough game. And I have to say, up until recently, the racing is dull. It's boring Formula 1. This is where it's at. Is it not? Am I right or wrong? Yeah. And I don't like loads of money. Another reason why I don't want to do that.
Any more?
Yes. Sam, you really want to beat Jason? You really want to beat the old man, yeah?
I do really want to do the old man. And
You can get outside of that sort of time. Old man, how very dare you?
I was just going to say, Jason, when you were doing Formula 3 in 1992, I was just 3 years old.
All right.
Were you even born?
How many years ago was that? How many years ago was that?
22.
Right. This is your second year. 97 was my first year. By my elderly brain, that's 17 years ago. Let's see if you can put it on pole in 16 years' time. I heard your mathematics are right.
I'll wait to you when you've got your little walking stick.
I won't be, when I'm not, if I can't race cars, I'll go to the pub.
Jason, come on, cheek. Come on, lad, have your hat. Come on, cheek.
Well, to be honest, I have just stolen out of stock, so technically it's contraband. If you want to receive stolen goods, then of course you can. But don't let the police tell you.
Any other questions?
Your rivalry between you and Neil's been quite high recently. Are you looking forward to getting it back on track?
Did I hear you say that? Am I looking forward to getting stuck back into Neil? To be honest,
We are.
as I said on the telly, I'm a lover, not a fighter. And he does all that judo and like he's a bit bigger than me. And you know, if he wants to get involved, he best get himself driving a bit faster, because from my last look, he's not doing a very good job this year. So yeah, the onus is on him to back me. And when he does, they'll have a scrap.
Would you expect anything less from someone like Jason Plato?
Some of it is Hector, you know, but we generally do dislike each other.
Any other questions? Can we please have one for Sam or David?
What do you think of the new one on the Hurst?
What do I think of the new one there? I think there's a good toe down the crux. I think get a good toe off the back of that. To be honest, Honda know what they're doing, you know, they've won the last 3 championships, so I don't foresee it being any slower. Yes, they'll have some teething problems, but I think it will be there, you know, and Matt, for all his faults, is a very good driver, so is Sheds. So, you know, it will be there, and we have to treat it as a serious threat. And of course you've got the Plato version as well, which will be equally strong. The BMWs and the Volkswagen seem to be back up this year with that one. So there's lots of cars out there that are capable of winning races this year, and it's you know it's one of the most competitive championships I think he is.
See, I was going to say, the interesting thing about that Honda is, if you look at the lap pace this year, that Hurst you've referred to, actually underneath it is exactly the same cars last year, exactly. It's just got that little bit on the back. But if you look at the lap pace, they're going around exactly the same sort of speeds they did last year, it's just that we've improved. So, and Andy Jordan's obviously got continuity in that car. Andy was a quicker package last year than the Works car. So I don't think they're going any slower, they just haven't improved where we have.
Any other questions?
Sam, you can give Jason any tips for race 3.
Tips for race 3. I'm going to teach him how to start. We're going to talk through that, and then hopefully teach him to stay behind. That'd be nice.
To be fair about the start, you haven't actually fluffed one up yet, Jason, like Brian's.
I did not fluff that up, that young man. I had an electrical problem with the vehicle, and yeah, it just went into like some sort of limping mode. But thinking back, it might have been me pressing buttons. I don't know. I'm not a PlayStation generation, but no, it was definitely not my fluff up in the last race. The last one just gone was.
Keep telling yourself that. Any other questions?
MG's plans, to be honest, I don't know. MG had a 3-year contract starting in 2012. This is end of year 3, and it remains to be seen. So, simple as that.
Will they be on the grid next year?
You'll have to ask Mr. MG that. I have no authority.
Any other questions?
Sam, what was your favourite birthday present?
What was my favourite birthday present? Well, I've not opened them all actually, because there was that many. I thought I'd just spread it out over the course of the bank holiday weekend. My girlfriend got me a picture of all my family, so like a photo montage of the last few years of racing and stuff, and yeah, that was a favourite present.
Any questions for David? It looks like he's been feeling a bit left out over there.
Are you planning to get into touring cars next year, or you're off?
Yeah, seeing Jason and the boys at it, it's pinnacle racing in the UK, and it's, and like Jason said, I think it's one of the most fast and furious championships in the world. So certainly it's the dream, it's the aim to be up there, and I've made my Toka debut this year, so give me a couple of years to learn the circuits, then I think when Sam's on pole and Jason's ground is in frame, I'll be hopefully in the second entry by then.
Do you know what time the last race is? Just waxing late, it's 5 o'clock, is it? 5:15, let's have a look. It's just starting to get a bit of panic on. How bad would that be? We're over here having a check with you, it's all going on. Actually, which reminds me of a story. Where was it? It was 5:15. I think it was Silverstone. I've gone off a little lads concentrate. So the little box you go into, the little room for sit down and read. And I was quite happy in there, I was reading the book. And reading the programme and forgot that I got my timing wrong. And they left the pits. I was still in the loop. So, yeah. But we've got a little bit more time.
Any other questions? You're a lot less popular than what you were at Brands.
We're not less popular, it's just they're not very active.
That's one way of looking at it. Any other?
I think if you haven't got a sticker with a World Touring card, then you might as well not bother turning up. Yeah, well, the thing is, the huge difference with the BTCC is we have a great commercial package, so ITV do a really good job, we're always on TV, the TV coverage is great, etc, etc. We have all you lot come and watch. You go to World Touring Cars in Marrakesh, there's some bloke that stood there with his dog. It's on, what channel do you know? Whatever channel it is on Matt Neal's content, which said it all. And so you know, unless you're employed by a manufacturer to race in World Touring Cars and obviously get paid, there's very little incentive to leave the BTCC.
Well, you say about unless you're in a sitch, and sitching have team orders though, so you basically see where you are at the end of corner one, and that's where you finish compared to your teammate, really.
Yeah, well, I think Sebastian Lowe has already won that this year. I think behind the door, I think it's Sebastian's golden boy at City.
Van doesn't mind, he's off to the bank with a big cheque. So, yeah, the WTCC does nothing for me. I don't think the circuits suit the cars. They're Formula 1 style tracks with big long straights. That's not what touring cars is about. And, you know, they don't have the same mentality here as we do here, that the regulations we have are designed for you. So they're designed to keep the racing close. You know, if anyone gets an advantage, the organisers come and stop that. We have success bars, we have boost changes, and that's all designed so that the racing's close, no one gets ahead. Whereas in the WTCC, it's designed, and the regulations are designed and approved by the manufacturers, and all they're interested in is themselves. So the racing's dull, it's too expensive. Anyone who has a big budget generally can go and test. I mean, to give you an idea, Citroen built. They've lasered all the tracks, and they built exact replicas of the chicanes at Marrakesh and a test track, and tested for a week, just riding over curbs. You know, they're going to win, and that's great for them, but it doesn't create a great show, and I think that's the benefit of the British Touring Car Championship, where, you know, of course, if I've got an advantage, either we've got our cars working right, yeah, I want to keep that, but they won't let you here. Because they want the racing to be close, and that's what sets our series apart, and that's why all you people come, and if you go to a BTCC race, there's no one there, it's empty.
So unfortunately we are going to have to wrap this Q&A session up. Thank you all very much for coming. Thank you, David, for trying to be here after your race. Well done to you two again for your 1-2s. Let's try and get another 1-2, but who's going to come first out of you two? That's the plan. So, yeah, we'll speak to you hopefully after the race. We'll see you at Thruxton, David. So, goodbye.
We found this young lad at Brighton Hatch. He came in to me on a Saturday night. And isn't he ace? Isn't he great? He's only 4 years old. 1200. 12. He's 12 years old. How cool is that? In front of all you people. Big round of applause for him.
Actually, on that Saturday night I interviewed you when they said, would you come along and stuff? You said you'd be doing it in front of a crowd, you'd be on the KNX stage, you'll do great, which I was a bit surprised to actually say that. I didn't actually think that you literally meant a KNX stage. I mean, isn't this great? Anyway, we do have to wrap this up. So, yeah, we'll see you at Thruxton, and good luck to all three of you.